Alright, this is JD79. Right now, it's not going to affect me over here, but the reason why I'm tracking Isaac right now, a couple of things. The reason is because of the drought in the drought in the center here, and also like what could affect here, and certainly I do believe that like people in the Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, Alabama should actually pay more attention right now, because it looks like the track is right now further towards the west. Now the interesting thing is, all right, we're gonna tropical hurricane. Here's the interesting situation. It looks like that this Isaac here is now it looks like that this forecast model for the forecast here, as you can see, takes towards the northwest, like it's going to be doing out to the northwest. But as you can see, if we're looking onto the storm history, it looks like it looked more towards the west, and it's pretty much wobbling towards the western, like due west here. But and I might, and there could be a chance that if this were to track westward here, this could shift the track over ever so further towards the Louisiana. Now, the last two ones are just Category 1 hurricane, but the Gulf of Mexico has water temperatures of like 80, 90 degrees. It's very, very hot water in the Gulf of Mexico. So if this were to track more towards the west, this could leave off the coast of Cuba, and we could have a potential of this one strengthening into a hurricane even before it reaches the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to go back to 1969, look at Hurricane Camille. Now I know that back in 2005 we had Hurricane Katrina. What was it? But it was actually, there's in here. Now this right here is Hurricane Camille. We're gonna zoom it. There we go. If this were to track, get rid of this. If this were to track, now if this were to have to westward here and it delayed like this, as you can see, it's still a tropical storm. It was south of Cuba, and then it would become a Category 3 hurricane, and it was a Category 2 because it was a hurricane. But if this were to happen, as you can see, it was a Category 5 hurricane that's passing towards Louisiana, and then it would, like in this case here. But this is the situation that I do not, it's really hard to say if we want the situation or not, because certainly the best outcome it would be for a tropical storm by the time it reaches landfall towards Louisiana and Texas and continues further north to get sort of like Oklahoma, Nebraska, maybe Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, and these things to drink, because they're really in towards a situation of a drought here. That's what the situation is here, but certainly, depending on, certainly, the track of this storm moving towards the northwest. And we're going to look at the model verification. As you can see, now before this here, it looked like it could become an Irene, and you can see it was still persistent. Okay, it's going to be going towards the Haiti and Dominican Republic. Well, that's as far as what's going to be. That's as far as what coming in here. But Irene was actually like this before. It curved towards the north. The good news is that we're not going to get into the Irene, but really the bad news is that we do not want to see is what Katrina and Camille did towards Louisiana. And the reason being is that it affects us too, is because gas prices are already $3.50, $3.60, $3.70 a gallon right now. You know, it was like like $1.50 or $1.60 below at this point. But if it were to move consistently western, move more towards the west, then certainly that this cone will be shifting up towards the could be shifting towards the west. Right now it's at the Florida Panhandle, but like it. The reason why I have to do it is because the storm history. So the reason why is because the storm between the storm history, like this storm history, based upon the storm history, isn't due west here. But I would love to. But I'm going to keep a close eye on this because it's going to affect this a lot of. It's going to affect the a lot of things. Like no matter how you can view it here. Now you see that it says, okay, we may not get a storm here. It says, well, why am I tracking this here? It's because what's influenced the Gulf of Mexico could influence the price of gasoline, because there's a lot of oil refineries in Gulf of Mexico, and certainly, yeah, New Orleans could be a bit of a concern if this were to happen, and. But certainly what I was hoping would do is like going towards this, I certainly would have hoped that would actually be a good thing to do is if it goes to Cuba. And we're having this blog here. What I'd actually hope for the best is for this to happen, we could. Hopefully this would actually be the best outcome, because certainly we can get quite a bit of rain, but we don't get the much of winds here. And this is actually the best outcome, because we might not get the storm surge. Yeah, that's a very big factor here, the storm surge. And certainly we are hoping it would not be becoming a hurricane. A major hurricane by the time it reaches Louisiana, like what Katrina and Camille did. And we would hope that we could keep on going towards the northwesterly track, so that the folks in Indiana, Illinois, and the Midwest could get a drink from this drought here. This is me right now. The reason why I'm paying attention to what it could do, So right now, I would hopefully that this would be the best outcome of the storm, to keep on land, to keep the rain but not the wind and the storm surge. But the worst case scenario right now is for the storm to have more of a southerly track, and this would wind up by this thing being more open water, and that means that Louisiana, I'm afraid that it could be another Katrina or Camille about this one. But needless to say, this is a double-edged sword. And it's hard to describe what the best outcome towards the positives versus the negatives here is, because the drought, and plus if the hurricane strength is enough to destroy oil refineries to a point where it could be, I'm afraid it'd be $6, $7 a gallon, and not out of the question. And that's what I have to say. I'm currently tracking Isaac right now. JD out.